Okay.
Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot for another deck creator interview. So today I'm really delighted to welcome Queenie and Suka, who are the creators of the wonderful modern work oracle, a particular oracle that's funding on Kickstarter at the moment, and one that I was really drawn to. A lot of the people who come to this channel know that I have a background in human resources and organizational strategy. So whenever I see a really good oracle deck in relation to work, I really jump on it instantly. And this is a very good deck, and it has really interesting sort of concepts and themes in the cards. And as speaking as someone who spent 30 years doing that kind of work, it really resonated. So I'm really excited to talk to Queenie and Suka about the design process, how their own lives, both spiritually and also in terms of work, contributed to bring this around, how they would use the deck, all of those sort of fun things. So hopefully you'll enjoy the interview and get inspired to look at the deck and maybe back it yourself, because as I say, it's backing on Kickstarter, and there'll be the link to that in the description box below. So, no more babbling on from me as necessary, I think. Let's just jump straight into it. So, Queenie and Suka, I don't mind which of you goes first, but tell us about your own spiritual, artistic journeys and also your work journeys and how it may be kind of combined to create this wonderful deck.
So I'll start first. Yeah. So
Yep,
hi everybody, and thanks Helen for the opportunity of the interview.
you're welcome.
I'll start off with my spiritual journey. So a bit about myself. I'm 37.
Mhm.
17 years in hairdressing industry.
Wow, cool.
I'm also 3 years of a Reiki energy healer.
Hmm.
So I have moved from a big salon like during COVID. And after COVID, from a big salon, I decided to downgrade to a smaller salon
Hmm.
where I have combined also selling crystals at the salon.
Oh, cool.
So as you know, going through, I think a lot of people go through that, the COVID stage where
Hmm.
they have opportunity to understand more about the spiritual, the within. Um, and interacting with my client, I also see a need that people need some guidance. And for myself, it's work was a main thing because I'm working 6 days a week,
Hmm.
used to be 7 days a week. And my client, a majority of my client who's up, everybody in the work industry and always need to have a guidance where what they should do. Should they quit their job or should they
Yep.
continue?
Hmm.
Um, I also have like other tarot decks and oracle cards in
Hmm.
the salon, but I just seems like they don't give me enough information
Hmm.
about how to give them quick guidance
Yep.
because client in and out,
Yep.
you don't have that 30 minute or 50 minute just reading cards to your clients. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um that's one of the reason why, like, oh, I wish there was a deck that is give you like an instant message or instant
Mm.
informations what you should do on your work. So that's how me and Queenie was just come up with, let's do an oracle deck out of
Yeah.
out of the blue.
Hallelujah. Yeah, because as I was mentioning to you both when we were talking a bit, before doing the interview, like I'm always on the lookout for these. There aren't a lot of them. I've got, a small number of Oracle decks, and I really like the look of yours because it seemed to be getting the work culture and dynamics and all that sort of stuff in it, not just industries and things like that. Fascinates me actually that you combine the hairdressing with spirituality because my hairdresser is very spiritual. We talk about this sort of stuff quite a lot. He's very, very psychic, and I think a really very natural manifester. It's fascinating talking to him about those things. So maybe it's got something to do with the very people-centric work. Like, you really connect with people.
I do, I think so. And luckily this space that I have now for my salon, I think it has some special magic in it. I
Hmm.
think so. It does bring a lot of positivity to to the salon, to the people. It's just a great place to exchange energy if you know.
Yeah, I'll have to
if
come
I-
visit. Everybody, the other thing I didn't say, everybody, is the other reason I was really thrilled to interview these guys is that they're fellow Sydney-siders. So I get to support Aussies. Yay. Who I could, we talk about this, I could actually go to the hairdresser. I'm very loyal to my hairdresser, I have to say, Suka, like so that you know, but I would love to visit sometime and come and see the crystals and all that. So we might talk about that at some
Yes,
other
yes.
stage. So Queenie, what about you? Tell us about your background and how
Uh,
you came to this.
yes. So my name's Queenie. I'm 30 and I have just graduated as an art therapist this last year.
Hmm.
And my background is a graphic designer for 4 years, and then I moved to something more therapeutic and people centered. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking that maybe helping people with art is a good way.
Mm.
That's why I'm choosing art therapist to be my master degree. And after hearing Suka idea, and I'm like, yeah, okay, why not? Why don't we do an oracle deck? Because I love art and I have the community. I can connect Suka with the community who knows the designing,
Hmm.
illustration. So I started my journey to finding her a good illustrator since
Hmm.
it has been a while. I haven't
Okay.
doing design, so I kind of lose the bond with the designing industry. But
Hmm.
then I can managing the project, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm yeah. So I'm just posting a post on Facebook
Hmm.
to get someone to draw it for us.
Hmm.
So we got the idea, but we're missing the
The
skill.
skill of drawing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I did start try to do it myself to
Hmm.
cut cost of
Yes, yes.
designing, but I showed Queenie a few cards like vision or and Queenie just like, no, you can't do
This is
this.
not good
It's
enough.
a sobering thing when that happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm. So that's why I connect with Illustrator Vietnamese one, and
Hmm.
we
Work as a
form
team.
a team of
Hmm.
3 people to work in this project, and just finally come to this stage.
Brilliant. And I think I read on the Kickstarter that you do read tarot and oracle yourself, Queenie.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I just finished my course of reading tarot this year.
Hmm.
It lasts for I think
16 weeks.
16 months, 16
Wow. That's
4 months.
significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of know basically how to read tarot and oracles as
Hmm.
well. Also, I love crystal, so
All right.
that's
Cool.
why I think
Yeah.
we're meant to be.
Yes, meant to be. I would
Yeah.
say so. Twin souls, all of that sort of thing. So, you've already started to actually answer this, I have to say, because my next question was why a deck on modern work life, and how much did your daily experience contribute to that? Maybe in exploring that a bit more. I mean, one of the things that drew me to it, as I say, is I felt with some of the ideas and concepts you had in there, there's a lot that seemed to be about work culture or office politics or any of those sort of things. So how did you sort of like come to go, these are the kind of themes and this is what we want to put into this to create that kind of work one, like how
So
did that occur?
so I'm also because of a small business. So I'm in
Hmm.
a business network,
Yeah.
which is our group, the group it's for our local businesses. So
Hmm.
a few suburb around surrounding suburbs. And once a year we will have an expo
Hmm.
just to, expose ourselves to the locals to see what we do. And for me, I would like to have something to show off at the expo, like, hey,
Hmm.
this is my product, this is
Yeah.
what we do. And for a business expo, then you need something that related to work.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, we have to get this quick done
Hmm.
able to have it at the expo. I want to sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and with all the info, like all the content in this article is when I interact with people at work, there's politicians in the network,
Hmm. Yeah.
there's my client in that network, there's other people become friends, and I see how they do their work and how I do my work,
Mm.
and what do they need to kind of help them out with their work as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really understand that because it's because I did human resources. I did a lot of employee relations, so I dealt a lot in conflict management and that kind of thing. Like that's not that well catered for in Oracle decks. It was sort of, as I say, something I think. I mean, not that yours is all just about conflict or anything, but like it had that kind of depth, and that really drew me in. And Queenie, sort of what about you, sort of like was it mainly because of what Suka was talking about, or were there other things from your life that you'd experienced that you thought, I want to put this into a deck?
Yeah, I think part of it is my experience of working as a designer in a small office. So we have a lot of like 2 years experience, and there's a lot of things happen, including conflicts, having fun, team building, and everything. So that's why I think something that could relate it to many people is office environment.
Yeah, very true. So, you've talked about, Suki, you've talked about business owners, and Queenie, you've talked about office environment. Do you see this as like, very much for business people, very much for employees, very much for managers and people on the leadership path, or kind of everybody really?
So we cater this for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can use it, and you can use it in different ways. So it doesn't have to be you're the owner and you get to pick. Your employee can pick, just to test out what's the energy, what they need to know for that day. And amazingly, I not not making my deck. It's good, but it's been very accurate actually. I've been doing it every single day. Queenie been doing it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, this very relatable to anyone that picks out. And we have tried in our salon, letting our client pick the card and just to see what they feel. And it's being spot on. It's being spot on.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because like again, from looking at the sort of some of the examples of the cards, because you see that in the Kickstarter campaign, there's a lot of diversity of the topics. As I say, it's one of the things that drew me to your deck. And yet I say this about tarot, I say about everything. It's the one thing that kind of always confounds me and fascinates me, having done this for like years and years and years, is that somehow the cards are accurate. Like, I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but it's like, how is it that we shuffle and we get the right card? And yet it seems to happen. Do you find that kind of magic side of it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I've tested out from the first day we received the deck from overseas. So I just post from my social media that we just want to test out the deck and how's the energy is going. And I received like 10 people requesting for my readings. And every time I just pull a card and it tells me something, they goes like, oh my God, it's so true, it's so correct. And I'm like, oh wow, this deck is good.
Yeah. It's magic. There's something magical. I think that's the only way to explain it, and I think it's really interesting, like with tarot and oracle cards, how they operate that way. So, Queenie, you've talked a bit about the fact that you've got a project team together for the design process. So, I don't know whether there's anything about that you'd like to share, or otherwise we can jump into you showing some of your favorite cards. So is there more you would say about the design process that you think the listeners here would be interested in, or will we show some of the cards?
I can tell you a little bit about the artistic creation of it. So we like something. At first, we have been having a pin board, like
A vision board.
Vision board.
Okay.
Yeah, and to see how it's gonna look like. And we like something colorful. We like something positivity, because sometimes thinking about work makes people feel a bit heavy.
Yeah. So I was thinking I'd ask you what's the balance of positive or negative? But
yeah. So honestly, we want to bring some positivity into the deck and more fun, a touch of humor as well. So that's why we chose a lot of colorful colors palette. Yeah. And so the artist make it from the line work. She presented with a sketch. And then the line version. So with the black line around the shape. And finally is the color version. So we supervise the process and making some change based on what she did. And have like changing the visual of it, or the color of it as well.
Yeah, excellent. So why don't you both show us some of your favorite cards?
All right,
you want to
go first?
Yeah, okay. I can go first. So for this one, it's a very
success.
card.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's the cover of the deck as well.
And
excellent.
And the guidebook. And the guidebook.
Yeah, no, good. That's a good theme.
So that's why I chose it, because firstly, thinking about success is not just having a good fancy life with a good house or like a car, fancy car. It's more like you achieve something that you wish for.
Yep.
And for example, just simply climbing the mountain and enjoy the scene.
Mm.
So this one is really good. Like I love it in terms of the concept of it.
Yep.
And also in the beginning, it's so the sunset, but this one is show like the morning one. So it's like the beginning of something.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the cards of success.
Yeah, I love the colors too. The colors on that one are gorgeous.
Yeah, it's take inspiration from the China area. The
The Chinese.
there's a Chinese North Iceland. It's like a mountainous area where you see a lot of beautiful scenes. And I took the picture, the screenshot of this area and sent it to Illustrator.
Yep.
And she just fill in with that theme of color.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And my second card is resilience.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we need that at work.
I remember, like, I recall a memory of having in a seminar where I meet my mentor, and she said, like, when you goes to work, you need to be resilient, and that's the lesson I carry it into today.
And it's a good message. What's written with it? Can you just tell me what you wrote with resilience?
Just be strong
and bounce back. I can't. No matter how many times.
So be strong and bounce back no matter how many times you're knocked down.
Okay. And so you've got like the doll that can
the image is the image of a roly-poly dolls.
Yeah.
The Russian dolls is connected to my memory toy. So it's one of the dolls that I had when I was just 1 year old.
Yeah.
And the doll is just about my size.
Yeah.
So
cool.
whenever I just play with it, I knock it down, it just go back up.
Yeah.
So it's been very resilient.
Yeah. It's sad, but we do need that kind of thing at work. I used to say in my job that, like, you know, it depended upon who said it, you know, like if you talked about that in terms of building self-confidence and like learning and building the muscle and all that was great. But with some managers who are less than good, it was code for you have to put up with me bullying you. And then people like me would have to go and deal with that when that happens. So
it's true. But even like in the younger, like modern days, you know they're doing it wrong, but you still have to, all right,
help them to get back up. Yeah, it's always a balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that topic just really interests me, so I jumped in on that one.
That's okay.
All right, so my card would be the politics.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I like that. The two kangaroos.
you can go
out. Yeah.
Sometimes like I really like this because of obviously our culture. When you say kangaroo, you know, hey, this deck is from Australia.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And they're feisty. Kangaroos are feisty.
Yeah, and what else? You know, best to describe the politics. You know, our Australian politics. Sometimes they fight, and for me, they do forget that we are the same on the same country. And sometimes, why do you have to fight, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The same thing about work and same department or same company, and you see the work politics in there. It's just like, ooh, a lot of people think it's the negative when there's politics. But to me, I see in a positive way where it has a little competitions.
Oh yeah, okay.
People drive people a lot stronger to achieve the project. Like for example, if there's two projects running, you want to make the best.
Yeah.
The beneficial will be the company.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think if it translates into that, it works. It's when people spend all their time doing politics and none of the work that becomes an issue.
Yeah. But like, you know, if they do what the politics now in Australia is doing, it's, you know, putting all the 100% of work to achieve something that they want. And we're just hoping they maintain what they say. But
yeah, that's always a trick.
So I really like this card.
Yeah, no, I do too. Yep.
It's funny because at our expo, I displayed this card out.
Yeah.
And as I say in our network, business network, there's a politicians
Hmm.
who is a fella. She walked past, she's like, "Hey, politics." I'm like, "Yes, I did this because of you."
But it's
So
recognizing a truth. I mean, this is the other thing. Like the other sort of oracle decks I've seen. I mean, I can't speak for every single one that's ever been done, but the ones that I've got or seen, a lot of the time they don't even go into that area. They don't even kind of admit it's the case, but it is, you know. So that's one of the things I was drawn to your deck for because I thought that's realistic.
yeah, so like I think it's something more straightforward.
Yep.
Uh, Being straightforward, it's there. You can't deny it.
Yep.
It's just much easier for people to read. And I'm
Yep.
not talking about just professional readers, but for people who are just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the color, the shape, the pictures, the word, they don't lie.
Yep. That's right. That's right. And did you have any others or that was that your
Another one was
Yep.
remote work.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
see these every single day.
Yep.
My client bring their laptop in while working, getting their hair done.
Mhm.
It's just great. I think it's
Yep.
good. Like, it's what you call productivity, right? So you can
Yep.
even balance your personal and your work life.
I actually think it's like, I was only saying this to friends here, so we're talking about exactly this. It's sort of the sea change in work that came with COVID. I mean, like it's very hard to say anything good came from COVID, but if anything good came from it, I think it was this sort of like, oh, actually, work's much more flexible. We have the technology now to do it, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's great. It allows so much more. I mean, I was working in an organization around the time COVID hit, and it was looking firstly at employment for people with disabilities, and it actually kind of brought to the surface that people who are on the spectrum or whatever are actually dealing better with the remote work than people who weren't and things like that. So that was really interesting. But secondly, it allowed us through the technology and through remote work to kind of cross feed or cross fertilize talent across sort of remote, sort of like, like different little offices that were in different country towns and so forth. So yeah, I think it was a good thing, like maybe it would have happened anyway, but I think COVID sped it up.
Yeah. So I think COVID was thinking just to help people, it speed up the change.
Yeah. Yeah, and something good had to come out of it. Everything else was pretty awful. Um, so, given all that, what do you hope that people will get from the deck? How do you've started to say a bit, but how you'd use it in your practice, and like Queenie with linking with tarot, and of course you do tarot as well too. So, go like how do you see it kind of playing with the other kind of oracles that you can use and other decks that you can use?
Um, it works pretty well. So we often not just only using this deck as experienced reader. When it comes to other deck, it kind of like it does give out the same information, isn't it? So we would use this at the end
Mm-hmm.
of instead of the beginning. So
Yeah.
if I was using another oracle card or another tarot cards,
Yeah.
so these cards will be the last card I would pull to have a final message or a quote or message that you
Yeah.
need to take home
Yeah.
that related to work.
Cool. Cool. Anything you would add to that, Queenie?
I think it's more specialized in terms of work,
Mm-hmm.
so more work team.
Yep.
So I think it's great to combine with other deck to see the overview picture. For example,
Mm.
the tarot can give you some warning about something happened, but this card gonna tell you exactly what happened or
Mm.
something related to the problems that you might have.
Yep.
Or you can combine it with other deck about relationship or um, like other aspect of life to give
Mm-hmm.
an overview of every single
Yep.
aspect that happened in your life.
Yeah, there's a couple of like ways I could see myself using it. Like I've already started to imagine this since I'm looking forward to getting the deck. Firstly, I do quite often like general readings where you might look at like love and romance, you might look at work life and like general well-being or whatever. And I sort of see it as either a scene setter or a qualifier in the kind of work life side of things. But also like love and relationships. Relationships are sometimes work relationships as well too. So you can see that. The other thing too is that I often will have people come to me around work, and I think I tend to start with what's the energy that's around at the moment, and then what's the energy that's coming in. And I could see, using a combination of tarot and the deck for that to sort of say, like, here's what tarot's telling me, and like almost like a wild card, like what else is happening that's maybe a bit below the surface or you're not seeing that's going on right now, what's coming in that could be unexpected. So just thought I'd throw those in as sort of someone who does these sort of readings. But yeah, I could be a scene setter as well as a qualifier at the end, so to speak. So I'm sure there's plenty of people who watch these who are readers, so I'm sure they would be able to work out how they would put them in. And you get a lot, I must say, you do as a private reader, you get a lot of reading requests about work. It like far more than like kind of what seems to be on YouTube itself. Like YouTube itself seems to either be about love or about spirituality, from what I can tell in terms of the readings as a whole. But I get a lot of like reading requests about work.
I do think now it has been the community is being struggling with work where young people can't find work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, People who have work want to change work.
Yep.
Or want to move up into positions which they don't know if they can. So there's a lot concern things around for the collective in general, where work is one of the things like no one's going to give them an answer. You don't know where it's coming.
Yeah, and there's kind of like on one side it's like what do you need to focus on and so forth where you are at the moment to make yourself marketable to go somewhere else. And then there's also what skills and abilities do you have and what focus or whatever you could use that actually improves the situation you're in. Because again, I was only talking to people yesterday about this sort of thing. We were talking about, employment and all that kind of stuff, and like how like the amount of applications for jobs now are like really, really really exponential to what they used to be and so forth. And a lot of people wanting to move. And that tells you a lot. I mean, yes, people want to make more money and get promoted, but the amount of movement tells you something about the work culture that a lot of people are experiencing. So I think sometimes a deck like this could help people understand what are the root causes of what's going on, what do I need to focus on, and so forth.
Yeah.
You see, I'm excited about this deck because I'm always thinking, oh, how I can use it. It really fits with my old life, all that kind of thing.
It's funded, so you should have it soon.
Yes. I can hardly wait. I'll definitely be doing a pick a card showcasing it as soon as I have it. And everybody at the end, we're going to do a couple of collective pulls with the cards, the deck that the guys have. So don't worry about that. You're going to get something along those lines in this video as well. So tell us about Kickstarter. Kickstarter's been an interesting journey because you just relaunched. What made you choose Kickstarter, or what's your experience been? And is there any ways, apart from maybe going and backing, if people are interested in the deck, that people could support you or follow your journey?
Why we choose Kickstarter was we happened to have a dinner with a friend and mentioning like, we're going to do this Oracle deck. And she goes, to Kickstarter. I'm like, what's Kickstarter?
Oh, right. Okay.
She was telling us all about, you put your project up, people like it, they fund it. So pretty much like you hit the right market that would like cards. So I spoke to Queenie, we both agreed, okay, let's give it a go. Not knowing really what Kickstarter is.
Yeah.
At first, we're really confused, and I had to spend the whole day just to research about YouTube and everything about Kickstarter, and to get the idea what is it and how can we run a new campaign.
So she's pretty much like the runner of the whole. Fantastic.
You're the strategist there, Queenie.
Yeah. So we did come up with a goal that we would like to achieve that would pay off all the expense with the illustrations expense, the shipping expense, the making, the taxes, shipping, all of that.
Yep.
And we were aiming well at that point I think it's decent.
Yep.
But coming towards the end, we realize if we want to push this quicker, we need to change.
Yep.
we need to pivot the way,
Yeah, and that's sensible. It's a smart thing
yeah.
to do.
So I think we have to make decisions
Yep.
hard because we have so much anxiety that what happened if we cancel now and then no one's gonna read back us and everything we do. So we're like, so yesterday was, we've been thinking about relaunching for a lower goal to quick to speed up. And it took us like 2-3 weeks just to like when we're gonna do it, how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna. But like yesterday, I think it was in 5 minutes we had a chat, and we're like, just do it,
Yep.
just do it. Like now, send a message to all the backers, and then we just relaunch another one. Try to do it.
And you did it very successfully for everybody.
And
It
then
is
she
backed
did
already.
it all in one day.
Yeah,
So
it's going to happen. I've interviewed some people
Yeah.
with Kickstarter where it was still line ball as to whether or not it was going to get funded, but I can happily say this one is funded. So that's wonderful. And look, yeah, it's Kickstarter's fascinating in terms of as a journey. I think, but it has a number of sort of functions. I mean, it's obviously it sort of helps you sort of fund getting the first lot out there, but it's a good promotional thing because people know about it. And then I've also seen, and I don't know, I just, if I was one of the publishing companies out there, I'd probably be eyeing off your deck because it's such an interesting niche. But sometimes that happens as well too with mass market. But putting that aside, because who knows, do you intend to like publish more copies of it and sell it after Kickstarter, or is it going to be only a Kickstarter thing?
Yes. So after Kickstarter is done, then we looking out of wholesale, retail, maybe online.
Yeah.
But we're considering on things, but we have to wait till Kickstarter is complete.
Yep.
Then we can focus on the other part of the market. And yeah, so it's good. Kickstarter been great. It helps us to connect with so much people. I never knew there was so much support out there. But yeah, people other than just backing us, that you can support us just by sharing, follow, repost, just mention to your other friends. Yeah, people that you need. Tell your boss, people tell your boss that you need this at work.
Yeah, because like that's true. I was only just thinking, just saying, like I think that I can think of various people I've worked with in the past who would be open-minded enough to think this would be a wonderful thing for a team building or a sort of work culture, sort of like, kind of like team building exercise or at conferences or whatever. Like I think you've got a potential market there because I say it's very accurate what you've got, so so I think there's something. And in fact, one of the other decks that I have that I got via Etsy is from somebody who works exactly in that sort of field, and her deck's about sort of women setting up their business or whatever. So she does like kind of courses about that, but because of the nature of it and because it is very accurate about the sort of range of things people deal with, that might be another thing. Just it was occurring as you were saying it, but yeah, certainly everybody, apart from backing it, I would very much suggest that you check it out and do that. But like regardless of that, let people know about it, particularly if you've got sort of someone who does HR or is dealing with office politics at the moment. Like let them know about it.
Definitely.
So given that, are you thinking about doing anything else? So I'm a very greedy person. Once I like something, I want more. So are you thinking about other sorts of decks at this point, or is it all too early?
So to be honest, like before the deciding of this deck, my original idea was to have a deck for the hair salon.
Oh, okay.
The Oracle card for hair salon. That's for the people to pick out, there's different scenario that you would see. You will have someone come and complain about the hair or a boss or a cool stylist.
Yeah.
But it's quite niche. Quite niche. So people who actually would want that is more like a salon owner or salon hairstylist would actually purchase it.
Yeah.
So Queenie promised me if this project succeeds, then coming up we might go on with the salon for myself.
Oh, cool. Well, let me know too, because I would reckon my hairdresser might be interested in that. So you might.
It's going to be a fun that you can pull card with your clients in the chair and have some
exactly.
It's like end of the day, Oracle. It's a card that with words, pictures, color, not just always have to have a heavy feeling. It could be a fun and a joy thing as well. You should bring more laughter to it.
Yeah, and personal style. There really isn't a deck sort of is around that and what that kind of means. So So it may have a broader appeal than you think as well. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. Anything from your side of it, Queenie, or are you sort of like at this point just running with the current deck?
I'm not too sure yet because
Okay.
I've heard about other creators that have a niche audience, for example, like fashion or
Hmm.
like pet rescuer. So maybe yeah, in the
Yeah.
future it could be something
Cool.
else.
Okay. As I say, I mean, I just tend to ask this because, like, if I like something, I want more. It's just my nature. So how do people find you? I mean, and if you have like kind of like sort of social media handles, email them to me so that I can put them in the description box. But how do people find you apart from the Kickstarter?
Like, so we have an
Social media,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have a Facebook and
Hmm.
Instagram page. So you can have a direct message to me, whatever you need or like whatever
Yeah, we're
questions.
very active on our social media as
Oh,
well.
yep.
So we will send you the link, and
Excellent.
people can come and follow us. At the moment, we haven't able to do a website yet
Hmm.
because for one product, I think it's not there
Yeah.
yet to have a
Yeah. Yeah.
website.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But hopefully, in the future, we'll have a proper website with other things on it. So yeah, so at the moment, please check us our Instagram out
Yep.
and follow,
And follow, yeah, and see
and I
what.
will follow back.
Yep. And see the creative journeys as they continue. So, have I missed anything before we sort of jump into actually showing the deck in action? Have I missed anything that you'd like to really tell the guys, that come to my channel?
Um, I think there's a thing that we create when we're creating this deck. We have put a lot of information and
Mhm.
ideas into it, and including the Easter eggs. So
Yeah.
if you can spot the Easter eggs, it would be great. And
Yeah.
send me a message about it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
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 Yep. So we let's show the deck.
Yeah, yeah, let's put it into action. So everybody, we thought about a couple of questions for the collective. So I'll just read them out very quickly and then we'll go one by one. So the first one was, what energy can the collective focus on for their career success right now? And the second one is, what elements of the work life or the environment might give a challenge? And like looking at it, that if it's a very positive thing, it's like, is it too much of a good thing, or what's the issue there, or is it lacking? And if it's a more tricky sort of card, then that obviously will tell you something with a challenge. So maybe if you pull a couple of cards, one each, so we get a kind of a balance. You tell us what you think, and then I'll just throw in my 2 cents worth. So firstly, what energy can the collective focus on to bring career success now?
You pick. I pick.
I pick you, Rick. Or like you pick you, Rick.
I'll pick. Okay. Let's see. Customer.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Customer. So I think like here it's a customer is of all kind in rich business and work, driving growth and improvement. Since we're a very multicultural country,
Hmm.
sometimes whatever the collective, whatever workforce you are in, maybe studied into who are your customer and what are the needs
Yeah.
that they want. So sometimes we just forget what they want and we all think what we want
Hmm.
as in a work life or as a business. Then like, oh, I want my business to be like this, and you forget what the customer need is
Yeah.
and you're not tailored to them.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what you need to focus on, people.
Yeah. And
No.
customers are not just like a client in the way that there's a transactional thing. It can be within an organization. A customer could be, a member of another team, in
Mm.
terms of like having a collaborative outcome. So it's understanding, it's other person centeredness in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Anything that you'd add to that, Queenie? Or you?
For this card, so yeah, same with Asuka, know the pain point
Yeah.
your customer so that you can help them more effectively, more efficient, and yeah, so it helps your business as well at the
It
same
does.
time.
It's interesting you say pain point because I did a lot in change management. And usually, if you really wanted to get people to get on board with the change, you had to understand what the pain was that you were answering. It's like what was in it for them. So
Yeah.
brilliant.
Mm.
So everybody, yeah, focus on what does the other want? to bring in the success. Because your customer might be your boss, and it might be like, hey, you're going to get the next promotion. So, okay. Given that, okay, so we know we focus on the customer, the other people. What elements of the work life or environment that the collective is dealing with at the moment might present a challenge?
All right. I'll pick a card and you read first.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Okay.
You can choose middle, up or down. Up or
Down.
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 The last one. Okay.
Okay. Growth.
Growth.
Can you just read what it says and then I'll say what I get?
When it's outgrowing and tight, it shows the progress. It shows progress and the need for continuous improvement.
Okay, so what I get from that, if we're saying like what could present a challenge, this could be on a number of levels. It could be that some of the people in the collective are outgrowing the roles that they're in, and they need to think about like how they're going to get to the next level. Some it might be literally business growth or financial growth and that kind of thing. And it might be that they feel constrained where they are at the moment too. So it's like it is like when you're kind of like in that picture, outgrowing, it's like it's time to sort of to shift to the next level, to the next job, to the next organization, or think about you could link the two actually. Because if you focus on your customer, then you can probably understand where the pain points are. I'm doing the links now. The pain points are that allow you to work out where the growth potential is. But if you don't do that, if you don't put those two things together, you might just get stuck like this person, sort of like in the clothes that aren't really fitting anymore, but a bit bemused about what to do. So that's what I'd take from that. What would you guys take?
So I think it's also the growth here. Obviously, as the picture is saying, he have a same sense of style. Very, like stripy and pattern.
Yep.
Maybe it's time to change as well and just looking to something different.
Yep.
Yeah, just change the old.
Yep.
And just move on, change the old and find something new that would fit probably a better of like it helps to grow as well.
For me, it's more like step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
More if it's something that you're comfy with, that's your favorite. You need something different to change your routine so that you can grow better.
Yeah, stop hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I often used to say in work that like just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Like sometimes you need to like test out and do something else. So that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
That's so cute, that picture. I really like it. I really like it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, and thank you for talking it through. As I say, it's a particular niche of a type of a deck, but as I say, speaking as someone who was a professional in this sort of area, very broad ranging, and I think very realistic, which is wonderful. I'm thrilled for you that it's funded. I'm thrilled for me because it means I'm going to get a deck. And thank you for your time. Hopefully, people will be enthused with this and want to go and get their own copy or support you in whatever way. But I really appreciate getting to talk to my fellow Sydney siders about their wonderful deck.
Well, we would like to thank you for the opportunity because
welcome.
we didn't think that we have any like landed such a great supporters and giving you, so you even back us up, support us through Kickstarter, and you're also helping us to have this interview here. We're over the moon.
That means so much.
Welcome. You're very, very welcome. I'm very happy you've made it because, as I say, there's I've been looking for good decks in this space, but I just love supporting creative people anyway. Like creative people keep the world interesting and beautiful and entertaining, and that's what I require of life. So the least thing I could do is support people who are doing it. So thank you so much. So we will say bye-bye now. We'll probably have a bit of a chat afterwards, but we'll say goodbye to everybody on the thing. If I can work out where to stop the recording. Now I see where to do it. It's changed on Zoom, everybody, and you know I'm not very techie. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.